The Cowboys' 2023 first-round pick, Mazi Smith, had an extremely disappointing rookie year. He was drafted out of Michigan as a nose tackle with elite play strength and block shedding ability, but at 325 pounds, his explosive athletic traits actually gave him a lot of upside as a pass rusher. But as a rookie, he lost almost 30 pounds. At one point, he was playing sub 300, and that made for a really difficult adjustment to NFL power, which is already tough enough for rookie D tackles. He played the fewest snaps for a Cowboys first rounder since 2006, and when he was on the field, opposing offenses averaged 4.9 yards per carry compared to 4.4 when he was off the field. Now, getting to his ideal weight is priority one. There's a lot of conflicting and poorly sourced information about whose decision the weight loss was. Initially, people were saying it was the Cowboys that asked him to drop weight. Now it seems more that it was Mazi Smith's choice, and according to Mike Zimmer, he was up to 305 about a month ago, so he has to regain a certain level of play strength to hold the point and get off of blocks. But there were also fixable technique issues that caused him to struggle, and believe it or not, he actually had some good reps that we're going to look at. So this video, we're going to break down his rookie season and try to see what the path is for him going forward. If you're a Cowboys fan, let me know in the comments how you're feeling about Mazi Smith. I'd be interested to hear your responses. Have you completely given up on him, or are you still holding out hope for a second-year jump? So evaluating him as a run defender, we're going to start out looking at single blocks and then move on to double teams. Like I said, to start out, the play strength was kind of the omnipresent issue that negatively affected every aspect of his game, but there were also problems with his footwork, play strength, play recognition. This play against Buffalo, he gets reached on the backside of this crack toss play. You probably want him to do a better job running his feet to outpace this reach block, but the main issue is that he doesn't really use his hands at all to resist the block or establish any sort of extension. The guard gets his helmet across the play side. Smith doesn't attack his frame or do anything to protect his own frame. He ends up with his chest exposed. Guard gets his hands inside, seals him off, finishes him into the ground. This play is kind of the opposite. It's wide zone. He's lined up at nose tackle, but here there's too much overextension and forward lean into contact. Jason Kelce just has to retreat a half step and then use his lack of balance to trap him. But he had a fair amount of wins against single blocks. I think when it comes to just stacking and shedding, holding up one-on-one, he was a lot closer to average, and that wasn't the biggest problem with his game as a rookie. This play, he gets a nice stack and shed on Steve Avila, hands inside, upward strike, quick disengagement into his gap, and he makes the tackle. Right here, he does a good job of attacking this backside cutoff, keeping his play side hand free, running with the ball, getting it on the stop. This play against the Chargers, they're running GT counter, so Mazi Smith has a back block from the center on the backside of the play. Good job resisting the initial push, and then he uses the arm over to escape the block and pursue the ball. This play against Buffalo, you see the lateral quickness where he can be a weapon on slants and gap exchanges. The guard's stepping inside, Smith is stepping in the opposite direction, so he just club swims over the top, gets into the backfield. There isn't really anyone scraping over the top to replace that gap, so it ends up being a positive play, but you at least see the athletic traits from Mazi Smith here. And then this play against New York, he stacks the center, holds the point, and disengages when the running back enters his gap. So single blocks, he at least showed flashes, and I think overall was okay as a rookie. Where he just unequivocally struggled was dealing with double teams. There are examples like this one against the Rams where you can see he just doesn't really have the play strength to withstand two blockers, and the center ends up washing him out of his gap. He's trying to plant his post foot and stay upright, but eventually his anchor just gives out. But another thing he really struggled with when it comes to double teams, and this actually dates back to his college tape, is anticipating the second blocker in a combo. So right here, the Seahawks are running counter. Mazi Smith has a double team from the right guard and right tackle. He engages with the first block from the guard, but you can see there's just no anticipation of this second blocker coming in. He doesn't have his footwork aligned and timed up correctly to withstand that initial contact, so he gets moved out of his gap. And then once that push from the right tackle uproots him and gets him moving, the guard now has complete control of the interaction and he drives him backwards. So those plays are more gap scheme combo blocks, but he also struggled with overtake combos, which you see in outside zone. So this play, the Patriots are running outside zone to the left, Mazi Smith is on the backside, and he's facing an overtake combo from the backside guard and backside tackle. The guard's going to give him an early push and then climb to the linebacker Marquise Bell, and then the tackle is going to overtake that block and try to secure the reach. You'll also hear this called a scoop block sometimes, but when you threw 2 blocks at Mazi Smith last year, it's like he had no idea how to decipher it, and he would end up not engaging with either of the blocks. So he doesn't do anything to resist the guard. That allows him to easily climb up to Marquise Bell at the second level. When you've got safeties playing linebacker, that's already kind of a limitation, but it's even worse when your defensive line is allowing quick climbs up to their level. But Smith gets his play side shoulder folded back. The tackle's easily able to reach him on the backside, and Ramondre Stevenson has a wide open cutback lane through the B gap. This play against the Packers, he's at least initially engaging with the first block from the backside guard, but very delayed reaction to the tackle on the overtake combo. Again, he gets sealed off, wide open cutback lane for Aaron Jones. And you'll also see plays where that second combo block doesn't even result in a clean reach. It just completely knocks him off of his anchor and he loses his footing. This play against San Francisco, he's fully engaged with the guard. Trent Williams gives him a little push, and that allows the guard to wash him out of the play. The biggest problem here is that he drives off of his back foot instead of his front foot, so he doesn't really have a base on contact. If you watch this play again, you see his first step is with the right foot, so when Trent Williams engages with him, he has such a narrow base and he can't anchor against that contact. This is kind of a teach tape example of pretty much the same combo block from Dexter Lawrence. You see his first step is with the inside foot, so when Trent Williams makes contact, it absorbs all of that force, redirects it into the ground. He's able to keep his footing, reset his base. With his hands, he's just focused on controlling and steering that first block from the guard, but he's able to multitask, engage with one block and resist another one, and then eventually make the stop on Christian McCaffrey. Another play here against the 49ers, the footwork is a little bit tougher to see from this back angle, but on this play, he actually ends up crossing his feet. It has the same effect of removing his base and his ability to anchor. So when that second adjacent combo block lands, it just launches him out of his gap. Another play here against the Packers where he's crossing his feet, but he actually isn't gaining enough lateral ground with the reach block. So he gets sealed off to the backside by the first block, but then the second block is able to knock him over because he doesn't have a solid base. Right here, again, he's driving off of his back foot, which causes him to cross his feet, not have a solid base to resist that second combo block, but he also isn't recovering leverage to the play side with that reach block, so he's getting sealed off anyways, regardless of what the guard does to knock him over. So after watching his rookie tape, I view Mazi Smith as a player with real technical issues as a run defender, and it was all made worse by his lack of play strength due to him dropping weight. If he can get up to and maintain whatever his ideal weight is, whether it's 310, 320, 325 like he was in college, I think that will help him take fewer losses and make the losses less extreme. But even at a higher weight, he's got to fix his footwork and improve his anticipation of combo blocks. As a pass rusher, he only had 8 pressures and a sack, so there isn't a ton to break down, but I do think he at least flashed in that phase. This play against the Giants, really nice leg drive on his bull rush here to completely flatten the right guard. Right here, he wins with a speed chop on the right guard, defeats the outside hand, explodes upfield, bends to the quarterback and gets a hit. And then the same move here against the Patriots, Mac Jones gets rid of the ball a lot quicker, but still he's explosive off the snap, beats the outside hand, rips through and bends to the quarterback. So at his lighter weight, he did look really quick and explosive rushing the passer. He showed some promising hand technique and actually had about a 10% pass rush win rate, which is above league average, but showing all of his best pass rushing reps, they are coming against the Giants, the Panthers, the Patriots, not exactly teams with the best offensive lines, at least on the interior. I thought he looked pretty much as athletic in college, so I don't think there's a huge risk that you'll see a significant drop off if he gets up to 315, 320, and the benefits that would have on his run defense I think makes it well worth it. This is my scouting report for Mazi Smith based only on his rookie year tape. At this point, it's looking like my biggest miss from the 2022 class. I was very high on Mazi Smith, as were the Cowboys obviously, and I would never call someone a bust after one season. We see very often how difficult the adjustment is from college to the NFL in that first year, but for me, the clock does start ticking year 2, so this will be a big season for Mazi Smith. And like I said to start out the video, let me know in the comments if you're a Cowboys fan how you're feeling on Mazi Smith. Obviously a disappointing rookie year, but how much optimism do you guys have that he can take a second year jump.